Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series. I'm Nathanius, and it's time for WCS America. As we get into the second half of our show today, we have some wonderful matches to bring you that are sure to make you scratch your head and ask, am I really awake? Is this a dream? Are people really making money playing these types of games? All that and more coming up to round out your Sunday before you watch a lot of gruesome gore tonight. How excited are you for that, Zombie Grub?
I don't watch Game of Thrones, so on the scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 1.
It's okay. People will be talking about it anyway, but we have some awesome games to start off. Of course, we're going to go over the format again because some of you just don't remember, and some of you are maybe tuning in for the first time. Welcome. Of course, we are playing Challenger. These are playing for a bunch of seeding, some money into WCS Spring, but the short of it is we've got 16 players split into groups that are going to be playing to advance into the round of 8 bracket stage, where they will fight to the bitter end in a video game to find out who is going to get the most points, the most seeding, the most money before WCS Spring in Kiev later on in May. It is going to be amazing. And of course, like we were talking about it, there is money at stake as well as WCS points that help with that circuit. So as you can see, voila, $1,600 for first place and 200 points. Those points have been really big. We have had players qualify and draw and not qualify by less than that 200 point mark. So with that being said, I think the only thing left for us to go over is who is going to be playing. We do go to Group D. It's the final group of the round of 16 here. And our matches will start. We've got Neeb versus Idraling, Jon Snow versus Vindicta. And then since it's a GSL-style group, there's going to be a loser match, then a winner match, and then a decider match between the winner of the loser and the loser of the winner. And that makes complete, perfect sense, Zombie Grub.
It does. That's why it's been used. Tried and true.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep. The grand sausage lasagna group style is my favorite. And we have our first series that we were talking about. It's Neeb versus Idraling. Idraling, who famously in Twitch chat earlier today said, chat is moving so fast, no one will see me say that I am going to Nidus Neeb both games in a row. Confirm or deny, is he going to do it, Zombie Grub?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Not surprised.
100%.
Yeah, Idraling, also known formerly as Volt, I believe we confirmed.
Yes, that is.
If that is him, he's a pretty sick griefer slash troll slash fun player. Okay. And I would not be surprised if his goal here was to just make all of you scratch your head as hard as possible. We are loading into the series, of course. Neeb, he's if we're talking about, you know, the Americas, Neeb would be the king in the north. And here we are on the right side of Automaton for this PVZ. In the red, you know him, you love him, he's Neeb.
In the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, he is Idraling. A fan of Idra, a fan of DRGling, perhaps?
Perhaps. His, you were mentioning this, his portrait in the out-of-game portion of StarCraft is the Hydralisk, the original portrait that Idra used famously before his career was ended by an early rage quit against Polt in WCS America 2014?
Was that the last game?
It was on Daybreak. That was like the one. That was the one, really.
I mean, the one.
That was the one that ended it.
Wasn't really a game.
Well, he wasn't really losing either, but that's also, I guess, another legend of his career.
Yes, indeed it was. But yeah, Idraling going by a lot of different names. There was some drama over the name, I guess, legality, whatever you want to call it, about the ladder race, which is how he got in here. He actually got top 4 on the ladder. Neeb just being pushed into this group because he was so good last time. He's just a generally good player.
Neeb just happens to be a very good StarCraft player. If you don't know, you should know. Neeb, Kespa Cup champion, 3-time WCS champion in 2017. Had his Thunder stolen out from under his feet last year, though, by Serral, who took the world by storm and defeated Neeb in some very key matches, including a sick grand finals. But Neeb coming back with a vengeance, trying to reassert himself as one of our better non-Korean StarCraft players, although he's kind of been on top. I'm going to say he's been probably one of the most feared American players of StarCraft that we've ever had.
Yes.
As far as Americans that can compete in the big tournaments go, North American region generally viewed as a bit weaker. But him alongside Scarlet and occasionally Masa, depending on how Masa's feeling and how much StarCraft he's actually been playing, pretty good contenders themselves.
Yeah. Masa's last like really good performance for the connected scenes, the Europe and NNA was 2016 Austin, I believe.
Yep.
That was
had a pretty deep run, and we were all like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, we were all wondering if he was going to be the other great North American player. But anyways, it's not a Nidus Worm. He bamboozled us. It's going to be an all-in though.
He's just building links, yeah.
It's gonna be nasty. It's actually so far is not gonna be scouted either. Hiding those lings, but then 4 pop out. Just seeing 4 is actually not that suspicious. Oh, okay. Well, then he sees 2 just come in right now.
Oh wow,
this
this gives him almost a little bit of a surround against this Adept though.
Yep.
He's able to attack from both sides, which should help him actually kill it and get through. Now the wall up is gonna start for Neeb, but he's okay. He's gonna go for the warping in gateway. I thought he might try to go for the cybernetic score. Now some Adepts did kill the drones in the natural, but he's not really concerned about that. This Oracle, however, wants to go ham against these forces, and he has blocked off the front. That shield battery that he's using to help wall is going to finish soon too, which should help keep his buildings alive a little bit longer.
I feel like this has not worked. The shield battery's done. He has a secondary wall potential. He could also recall the Adepts, but maybe he underestimates it. It's kind of the only thing I can think could happen.
Well,
there's a second wall.
You could warp some Adepts inside where that battery is.
Oracle's about to pop out. He's only going to be able to warp in 1 Adept, actually. 2.
All right, the gateway's to die, yeah.
Yeah, but that's all you need to do is hold off against this. And if this was not maybe something he was suspicious of with those first 2 lings, getting that partial surround on the Adept, maybe he would not have prepared these double walls, getting a second Oracle, so on and so forth. But he kind of was like a little tipped off to it. And while it still looks really nasty, I mean, this just doesn't look pretty, it's still a hold for Neeb.
Yeah, sometimes StarCraft is a cruel mistress, and this, yeah, this is it. This is it right here. This is the cruel mistress.
Yep.
So that's a very ugly wall, but he did it on the retreat, so that's just kind of what a wall looks like after Protoss gets ling all in, ling flooded. He's only got 13 drones, so this game is basically over. Yeah, it was a good effort.
Yeah.
You know, GG.
GG. Again, it is maybe possible that's...
The grab on the first Adept was nice, but he needed to get the lings in, right? I guess.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things where the opportunity was there. So, like, either you try and run in with the lings you have, which might not be the most, and then you get it started, or you wait, hope it's not scouted, and run in when there's speedlings.
Yeah.
And then hope they don't have enough money for a wall. But
if you'd been able to get more than 2 lings inside, then I'm like, maybe he can prevent the wall from going up as effectively, and then something happens, but that's it. That's the only way.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's we're throwing out the 2 ways that still even, like, either way, it's still not an attack that actually works that often. It's an all-in. No. It's one of the lesser done all-ins in this matchup. The Nidus Worm probably would have been maybe 2 on the nose. Maybe it's too obvious.
Maybe the Nidus Worm wouldn't have been able to hit fast enough, and he was scared.
So, yeah.
I don't know.
But it is usually, it's still like one of the scarier attacks.
Yes.
Unlike the Ling all-in, which does seem to be, it's like, it's highly phased out, honestly. Like, no one does that anymore.
No one does that anymore.
And there's a reason.
Yeah, he's looking for some classic cheese, like some what would be, like a blue cheese, you know? Kind of, it functions off of a bit of the moldiness from how old it is, right? It's not meant to be fresh.
I mean, it isn't all cheese, but yes, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
See it?
This is the one that you forgot about in the back of the refrigerator.
Oh. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's like green cheese, actually, instead of blue cheese.
I'm suddenly not interested in this conversation. Port Alexander is going to be the next map. And I wonder what all-in he's going to bring to the table here.
That is seriously the question that we're going to ask. I mean, he did that all-in, though. Like,
what if he drone rushes? What if he does, like, the stacked drones? And what if Neeb doesn't react? He thinks it's one drone coming in to scout.
Well, the funniest thing is, though, right, is that, like, while Neeb sometimes, like, in the past has, like, died really silly things, he then has had, like, approximately 1 billion games versus Scarlet. And like when she
Yeah.
learns a new all-in, when she sees an all-in, and like one of those silly ones
Neeb
like
is
that,
always,
like
Neeb is always the first target when Scarlet doesn't.
Yeah.
Use. That's true.
he's been forced to play against the refined cheese of the other great NA players. So I'm thinking that whatever Idraling has to throw at him, he'll probably be okay against.
We're about to find out. We're loading into Port Alexander, and the game is beginning. So let us see what he is going to throw at Neeb for game number 2.
Yes, and how much will Neeb be on guard against it? That's the question. I was gonna say the last game, it was kind of one of those, maybe you could misread it because hey, they have a third hatchery. Hey,
Yeah.
the adept being not denied by 4 lings isn't, that's not surprising.
That just reminds me of when I was a new StarCraft 2 player and you're playing and you play versus a Zerg player. And back in the day, this was like the most popular thing. People would build a third hatchery while they were doing like a Roach Bane bust or something because it was Wings of Liberty and you had to research siege mode. And then you're like, wow, what a sick cheese. And they're like, what do you mean cheese are all in? I got a third hatchery. Okay, I took a third behind this. I'm like, this is just designated pressure with 14 drones behind it, okay? And then I'm like, well, is it though?
You know how, and this is really going to strike a chord with you, by the way. Oh, okay, that's not even going to be taking a drone hatchery. Blah.
No hatch.
Okay,
No.
all right.
He's skipping.
Okay.
He's skipping the subtleties here.
You bit easy. Like you,
Maybe.
I think you literally can't not afford a hatchery unless you pull the drones.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're
like
gonna
kind of the
float the
weird
money
thing.
no matter what you do. Okay, maybe he cancels it to start more lings. I don't know. I don't want to try and predict anything for this guy. He's a madman.
Yeah. Anyway, I was gonna just because we're still kind of waiting for these lings to show themselves.
Tell me your tales, Andy Grab. Tell me your tale.
I was gonna say, strike a chord with you, but like when Brood War players saw StarCraft 2 in its infancy, literally 2010 StarCraft 2, can you really blame them for thinking it was a terrible game?
The idea of not having to pull your eyeballs out of their sockets to play a video game was really jarring to those individuals, you know? They're like, wait, you're telling me that your workers will just go mine if you build them? I don't want to micro my units. I want to stare at my base all day and click on 11 different buildings. That sounds way more fun than microing to me. Oh boy,
I love the twist.
This is going to be... Well, that's a fast
Nidus
layer.
It's got to be the Nidus Worm or just pure Ling.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's why
what
StarCraft 2 is the strategically superior game because you can put more attention into your actual strategy.
Oh,
sock folding.
Okay, not according to some of those Reddit threads, man. Does anyone think that there shouldn't be called an RTS? It's so much more about who has more APM. There's no strategy in this game. Okay, this actually gets fully surrounded. That's kind of bad news.
Is
That
he,
wasn't
is he
supposed to
going to do
happen.
it this time?
So wait, he doesn't even use the lair, but his speed was delayed. Blah, blah. It was delayed because he got a lair. His speed was like finishing right now.
But bring
What
the
could have
probes
happened?
out.
What could have happened?
Wow, he didn't get the pylon. Well, now he can just wall off. He has a depths. He can build depths, right? Just full wall. Why not? There's going to be a Nidus network coming in anyway. You don't want him to hit you from both angles.
Doesn't have minerals, but he will. He will.
God, Neeb. Just get more minerals. Ugh.
He's getting a robo probably in preparation for what he's thinking is going to be a Nidus Worm. To be clear, his probe has not scouted the natural, has not scouted the third base, but it was denied by 6 lings, and it's like, wow, I wonder what that means. So he is prepping probably for a Nidus Worm, and maybe it's roaches.
Does
you know,
he
it's gonna be
really?
lings.
Does he really think that it's going to be a Nidus though? Did he scout this at all?
No, he didn't. But I would have
All
figured
right.
that he would have been on guard
This is
against
gonna
it.
work.
But maybe the lings at the front, like, really, like, it threw him off. He's thinking more about another ling all in because he has nothing scouting this.
This is the fastest Nidus humanly possible, by the way.
But it also is somewhat vulnerable, right? Because it is just lings. Now the probes have actually already
Yeah, there's
been,
nothing
like,
here, though.
so many of them were pulled to the natural to solve the problem of the pylon.
I think he easily gets the robo if he wants.
Oh.
Force field with the probe surround and the adepts is maybe the only way he loses this, but even then, I'm still...
That actually was exactly what was not supposed to happen.
Yeah,
None
he
of this woman, the natural happened.
Another
The Nidus Worm's actually going to do it.
This is
It's
good.
going to win. It's going to win. It's won.
A star is
Neeb
born here.
was thinking entirely about the front and not about the back. No!
This is going to be the fastest 3-game series in WCS history. I'm calling it right now.
But who will be in favor of?
I don't know. Remember, NA player can beat NA other NA player on NA given day. And right now, Idraling's 1-1 versus Neeb.
It's okay, man. Now Neeb has it in his brand.
Yeah.
Nidus Worm.
You know, the only thing that could have made that game more exciting was if each player was spending half that game manually clicking each built worker to go to a different mineral patch so that they could mine resources.
I think so. If he had, if Idraling had to, and Neeb had to, Neeb's macro would have been better.
He would have needed so much more skill to do that.
Exactly.
You know?
StarCraft 2 is actually all about strategy and not enough about mechanics, and the better player doesn't always win.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
It is the problem.
It's like a sport where the faster player doesn't just win. It's like, well, if you run faster, you should always just score more.
I like how we're angering both
I'm getting
fans.
It's okay, though. They already all hate me. There's no one new to hate me from that. We're good. We're good there.
But like,
I played Brood War for 6 years, man. I'll go back and play custom games any day of the week, but there are a lot of improvements in StarCraft 2, and that's why I love this game.
I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes it really does feel nice just to like out macro Fear Dragon and Brood War when he tries to cannon rush, then DT rush,
He doesn't
then
have to do
carrier
much.
rush me.
I was going to say, for him to DT rush you in that game does not require as much stuff to do.
It started with a cannon rush, to be clear.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And
was it as good in that game? Was it as
a cannon
good?
rush?
Yeah.
Not versus Terran.
Okay.
Which is what I play. So no, it wasn't that good. He was like, he felt on the edge of my. You know what? Never mind. It was bad. It was bad. But I do actually like in Brood War that there's two options to deal with DTs. I hate StarCraft. I hate StarCraft 2 with DTs. Although now that the Raven meta is back in here, I actually don't mind it.
Why do you say that?
So before the Raven meta was here, right, and you never built a Raven, I would just always like die to DTs, and I'd be like, oh, well, if I had vultures with spider mines, at least I'd have a chance.
Wait, spider mines hit on them regardless? That's stupid.
I thought you would have been excited to hear that.
I played Protoss and
oh, okay, well, there you go. Anyways.
Actually, my favorite thing in the whole game was the Zealot leg upgrade. That was my favorite thing. Just spamming speed zealots.
Yes, that
going into carriers is the only way to play that game.
I mean, it works out well against young Terrans because they're like tanks.
It's very fun. Me and my friends were all very bad, but there was few things more fun when they're like, I'm gonna rush battle cruisers or carriers, and then I just have like 8 zealots with legs, and they're like,
see,
oh my lord.
Back when I was playing Brood War with my older brothers back in when I was like 12, so like 15, 16 years ago, it was on the N64. It wasn't Brood War.
You actually tried it on the N64.
That's the only way I knew Brood War or StarCraft existed. I was on the PC. It was an N64 game to me, and my brother would mass carriers. That was
because I got into StarCraft from playing Diablo. I got pretty big into Diablo when I was little, but we started with that on like the PS1. I think I played. I played Red Alert on the PS1 for the first time, which most people were like, "How on earth do you play an RTS on the console?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Apparently StarCraft is on the N64."
I mean, the best thing about this is that already it's difficult enough, and then at the time, I didn't know that the yellow cursor, the yellow directional buttons were hotkeys.
Oh.
I had no idea. Somehow we played split screen on the N64 with no hotkeys.
What's amazing is that on the N64 is the definitive version because it has the Stukov mission. It has more content. It has more content.
I mean, some of it has been laughed at as being terrible, though.
The real question is, when does the N64 exclusivity deal end so that we can get that patch into StarCraft Remastered?
I mean, has it not already ended?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
There's got to be a reason it's not in Remaster, right?
Oh, God.
Right?
God. Okay, so a couple important things, actually, kind of are happening. So Mexico before Nexus, but then also the Probe Scout was pretty fast, so he wasn't denied the Scout by 6 lings on the high ground this time.
Do it again.
Yes, he is. But like, I could have sworn I could have sworn that Neeb was gonna have an idea of a Nidus Storm in his head, considering who he was facing, but maybe not. Maybe he literally is like, I didn't know this guy was like anyone, and I thought he was gonna Ling Bust me again, which some people do. That's literally their thing. Just Ling Bust, Ling Bust, Ling Bust. But that little extra Nidus Worm, how clever. But now Neeb should be aware of that.
Yeah.
And at least be scouting for it so he can have his units in proper position, protected by XYZ.
With the timing of the robotics facility, this game, surely he'll be able to have an Immortal out in time to kill the Nidus, but oh my god, he has to recall the Adept because the Lings get it inside again, and the surround on this step would be catastrophic. This kills the Protoss.
Have to pull the probes again. The natural, which isn't such a big deal if you deceive the depth, but already losing one sucks. Here's the Nidus Worm once again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's playing the attention game, right? Because he wants to get the Nidus up, he wants to distract Neeb. And frankly speaking, an Immortal does not 30-ish lings built off into a Nidus stop. So you have to prevent the Nidus from going up. He does get a Stalker this game that's gonna patrol. So I imagine a Stalker and Adept with a probe pull should be able to kill a building Nidus Worm on this patch. Unless the Stalker runs away and he's able to put that Nidus into a dark spot that he doesn't see.
Again, to be fair, maybe last game he was expecting the rotates later on, but this time he is on guard against the very fast Nidus Worm. Pull the probes, Stalker attacks it. Womp, 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 womp.
Probes are tasing it.
No!
Tasing it. It's now. Nope.
It's kind of close, though.
And then he's getting another one. But the Stalker and the Adept may not get there in time this time, but the Immortal is almost out. And this one should finish. Look at this, he's preemptively trying to wall off. There's the first field. Oh, the link
no,
through though.
That's awkward.
I'm waiting to see if he starts another one inside
But
the base.
It's like, seriously, the addition of 2 more Warpins and an Immortal could be the difference, but he's getting, like, decent surrounds here. Another force field to help protect the Immortal.
It's actually
15 probes dead.
He's almost got the Immortal dead.
He has the economic advantage. He's going to kill the Immortal. It's actually going to be it.
Are you real?
Are you real? Are you so real? My God. He's not even going to have another Warpin. He doesn't have minerals. Darn it.
All right, I'm gonna see this in the Twitch chat when this is over. Can I get a baby rage? I want to see everybody in chat spamming that.
Lose.
This is potentially the greatest thing in the history of things. Idraling defeats Neeb. GG. This is America.
The land of possibilities. Freedom.
And Idraling pulled himself up by his Nidus Worm and he said, I'm going to defeat you, #1 American player, and he did. Oh.
Oh, apparently it is that cheese in the back of the refrigerator.
That's
eventually
amazing.
grows the green mold, and then also a couple of Zerg tendrils, and a Nidus Worm pops out and kills you.
To me, this is like, if I was going to try and make a joke comparison, I hate to involve myself, but I'm like, if I had to play against Scarlet in like a qualifying match and I just BC rushed her twice and it worked, this is exactly how I would picture it. Congrats to you though, dude. That's astounding.
Well done. Well done.
You certainly beat the hardest player that you should have to beat in this group. I don't know what's going to happen next, but...
Oh, God, it's so possible that Jon Snow gets out at first in this group, because he always just gets in the groups with Neeb, and he always has to face him. And at least he gets out second, I suppose.
Jon Snow may not have to face
But, like,
Neeb
Jon
this
Snow
time.
might just be like, oh, my God, this is going to be so easy now.
That's fantastic. All right, we're going to get into that next match soon. We're going to take a look at the schedule. It's a schedule. Coming up next, Terran versus Zerg. It's going to be Jon Snow going up against Vindicta. That is your next series here for WCS America. Coming up next.